What up, Chris? Yeah, I had a similar experience, but that's because A, I don't generally play aggro like mid-range decks, and B, when you're playing like potential SI mirrors versus people that have been playing it a lot, and like you're just picking it up because it's good, then you're probably gonna be worse at it, which makes sense, right? But yeah, I had the same thing. I was pretty tilted, and so I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna play a little bit of SI, and I just lost with it, and I was like, well, fuck. But people already played SI failure control, right? Which is where those cards makes perfect sense. Rasa is a great control card. Rasa in its iteration in control is perfectly fine. Rasa in aggro is degenerate, which is why, again, I have to give Crazy credit for it every time, or otherwise he's gonna lose his goddamn mind. It's changing Rasa to say kill the 2 smallest minions on the entire board, instead of just the 2 smallest minions on your opponent's side of the board, because then it's still very good in control, and it's very bad, well, not very bad in aggro, but it's worse in aggro. So like if the aggro decks want to play it, they risk killing their own minions, and if the control decks want to play it, it still works out great. I really don't want to thermo beam this because I want to save thermo beam for Hecarim, but I don't have a choice. I'm just an elusive player, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is like when you play the deck a lot, it's a lot easier to make micro adjustments, right? So like, if you're playing elusives and you see the meta start, because the meta does change a lot. The meta like constantly shifts every like 12 hours. It feels like every single time I log in and start a new day, it feels like there's a new kind of most popular deck. It may not always be the best deck, but it feels like there's a new most popular deck, and it shifts. Sometimes it's SI, sometimes it's elusives, sometimes it's Ashe, sometimes it's Heimerdinger variations. Like it constantly just switches, which is rad. And but if you're in tune with your deck, you can take the flex cards. Hell, you may not even know what the flex cards are in your deck if you're, not in tune with it. But if you are, you can take those flex cards and slowly tweak those in a much quicker fashion than just waiting for somebody to update their deck to net deck. Like if you're just waiting for people to like update their net decks like on their Twitters and stuff, you're always going to be behind. And so it's much better to be in tune. I just started running Heimer to counter Frostbite decks and hit Fearsome every game. If you're talking about Shadow Isle, I like this matchup. I don't think it's like, it's not a 70-30 or 80-20 matchup like Heimer Ezreal is versus Ashe. Like these decks farm Ashe like oppressively so. It's not that good, but I enjoy it. Like if I could queue into this matchup all night, I wouldn't care. It's not the best matchup, but it's fine. It's fun. Like most of your draws line up. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes it goes catastrophically bad, but for the most part, it works out pretty well.
Eminently logical.
Has really good tools for SI. Yeah, for the most part. Having the Monkey Clap, having Mystic Shot, having Thermo Beam, those are all very good for dealing with Elises and Hecarims and shit like that. That being said, if my opponent has Hecarim here, I cry a little. Pony want a carrot? That's pretty great. It's a sword.
No, it's a sword drop hoe.
God, I love that. That's Draven interacting with Fiora. That's a sword.
dimensions don't determine themselves.
Hopefully he doesn't have 2 fucking spears. That would be toxic. If he has 2 spears, I'm dead. He might have Vile, but I can't not play this. Yeah. I've never seen that. That's pretty good, Chris. That's really good. I need to draw a progress day soon. Or just infinitely chain Flash of Brilliances. They really did a good job with all the voice lines. There's a lot of them. It's not even like there's a couple. There's a lot. Like, all the champions have interactions with themselves and all the other champions. They also have interactions with some of the followers. Like, it's so deep. So he is playing Ionia. He does potentially have denies. Give me what he has. That's pretty good.
My most groundbreaking invention to date.
Oh, fuck.
Round and round and
Round and round it goes. Oh, I found my progress day. You got a Teemo deck to work yet? No, I don't even have to. Well, I got my second Teemo today. If I was to play Teemo and try to like make it actually good, I would play Teemo Shadow Isle. What, Mingo? No. Okay. So, Chris, this is exactly what I was thinking. Okay. So when I was playing I played Mono Ezreal to start, right? And I was pretty off the train of running Heimer. I've talked about this a little bit. How I think this removes them from combat, doesn't it? Because doesn't it put it back on your bench? Or does it work? No. I know when you normally cast it, it puts them back on your bench. Not if combat is fine. Okay. Alright, we're banning crazy if this is wrong. You just put them back? No, it looks like it's twofold. So if combat's already been confirmed, it does actually do the swap. Whereas if combat's not confirmed, it puts them back on your bench for whatever weird reason. So there's actually 2 interactions with it. So you actually need to be smart about knowing whether or not you're going to just switch positions or whether or not they're going back to your bench. Interesting. Give me mod now that I'm right. You were wrong about something yesterday, so... Okay, so this isn't my favorite play in the world, because if he has Hecarim, I kind of want the will, but I don't want this to go off because it's going to trigger arrow or black arrow, whatever the fuck it's called. And I kind of would like to keep my Heimer, and it counters this.
And fire! Everything can use an upgrade!
I almost wish that Heimer, like, his buff feels a little underwhelming. I think it would be too good if it buffed all the minions on the board, but I feel like it should. Again, it would be too good, but...
A machine for sports ball.
If he wants OP shit, I talk about it all the time. OP is fun. Heimerdinger's already good. So, sorry, I kind of went off on a different tangent. What I was saying earlier is that... this is chat's fault. See? See? These guys would all be alive if I got my way. What I was saying earlier about Heimerdinger is that I didn't respect him enough because he's only a 1/3 and he costs 5 mana. And while his effect is really good, especially in the other list, the non-Ionia, the Piltover Freljord deck, you don't have that many cards to protect Heimerdinger. And so you kind of just don't expect him to survive very long. And so I was like, well, this card's pretty garbage. But I got one, and then I was like, well, I'll try it. And I put the one in my deck. And then he turned out to be pretty good, and he carried his weight. So I was pretty happy with that. And then if he's got Heimer, or not Heimer, Hecarim, I'm a little sad. But I don't want him to just go into combat, so I'm gonna make my dinosaur here. And so I was like, I put him in and I tested him, and he turned out to be stickier, and I was like, all right, well, this card's working, and he's helping me get to turn. He's helping me get to late game by just kind of gumming up the board, and then I got a second one, and I realized that his signature spell was Progress Day, and I was like, okay, well, he's guaranteed in my decks now, because the only way that you lose with these kind of decks is when you don't draw Progress Day. So having extra copies of Progress Day is so important. They need to buff Calista? Probably. Yeah. Probably. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What a celebration! Back to work!
That might be one of the most expensive... one of the most expensive Progress Days I've ever cast. Well, the fact that it's at burst speed is pretty important, and then it's more like 5 mana, right? And yeah, spell mana makes it good as well, because this is sometimes free mana. There's a lot of like nuances to this. You fuck. Too bad I didn't draw a 2-mana deny.
Added it to the bug list.
I'm the one who knocks. So I wasn't, if anybody was like trying to pay any amount of attention, I didn't attack earlier despite having a massive board because I didn't want to give my opponent Rasa. And with this deck, you don't need to win the game so much as survive the game. If you just survive, you'll inevitably win unless you deck yourself like a moron. Not that I would ever do that, but hypothetically, it's possible to lose the game. And, you know, 100% winning spot. And, so I'd rather just pass and gain control of the board, because if I just get Karma and shoot like 2 burn spells, they just die. So as long as I just don't Pepega it. No worries, Kata. Have a good night. Good dreams.
Eminently logical.
So I have 610 damage in hand right now.
Heart and mind as one.
So I can rummage for 1 billion now as well. Wait, how many cards do we have? 21. Okay, we're safe for a little bit. We're safe, chat.
The answer is here, somewhere. Requires just 1.21 gigahexes.
Yeah, you just have to have 10 mana. So like her and her duplicate spell, you just have to have 10 mana. You don't have to like gain 10 with them on the board or something. As long as you're at 10, you are enlightened. Yeah, it can't be spell mana, to be clear. You can't have 7 mana here and then 3 here. Just as like one other clarification.
I hypothesize their demise.
If he plays Rasa, I have double deny.
Goggles on.
He's value trading my 2/2? And now he's just dead. As long as he doesn't have life gain. So we wait for him to play his Rasa. And then I'm gonna just double deny here to see if he'll get baited, because I don't want to put the actual damage spells on the stack yet. So we're just gonna double deny this and let him spend his mana or pass initiative again, and then we'll kill him. Rather than start with the kill, because if we start with the kill, that lets him react. And you always want to be the one reacting. Oh, that's cute. Alright, this is about to be tours, boys. We're going around the world. Tours, chat. Tours. Wait, is that even all the spells? That's not all the spells. Hold up. I want him to click commit. Wait, that didn't even add all the spells. What the hell? Where's my... Oh, it's there. Oh my fucking god, there's a spell stack. You can only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spells on the board. What? He's at 1. What just happened? Okay, well, it didn't cost us the game, but that's good to know. What the crap? No, we're not Pepega. I would bet money that... How many people are in here? There's 104 people. I would bet money that maybe one person in chat knew that. Maybe. There's no way I get called a Pepega for that. There's no fucking way that... Like, you have to see that to know that. I've never seen that and I play Karma. I didn't know. It's me. Yeah, somebody asked if there's a stack size. Is there a stack size? Is there a stack cap? There's a limit. So Pirates may have knew. No, he said I didn't know. No, I don't get to be called a Pepega for that. There's no fucking way. Also, you're fucking welcome, alright? Everybody in chat just learned a potentially very valuable lesson. Alright? Cool it with the BM, okay? Cool it with the BM.